Now that you have the core information that we recommend you include in a strong resume, starting with your header, your professional summary, your skills, education, and experience sections, there may be some additional information you are interested in sharing with the employer. One of the first optional sections we encourage you to consider would be community service. Community service has a variety of functions. It can be useful for covering gaps in employment. For example, if you took time away from the workforce for personal reasons, to raise a family, you were laid off, whatever the situation may be, participating in community service can show the employer that you were still engaged in your community and using your time, but maybe not necessarily in a paid position. When you describe community service, you can talk about the populations you were working with, the type of projects you were taking on, the schedule you took on, whatever you think would be helpful for them to understand what your commitment was to that position. It also shows your commitment to your community and larger causes. Many industries, especially large companies, are interested in giving back to their community. If you've already begun to engage in such a process, then they know that you are a good fit for their company culture. By participating in community service, you're also showing them that you're able to take initiative and show your understanding of taking on tasks without reward or acknowledgement. This is very common in the workplace. Oftentimes we do more than what's in our job description, and it does go unnoticed or unrecognized. So showing the employer that you're willing to step up and take initiative, even though the acknowledgement may not be instantaneous, may again connect you to their company culture as a whole. If you are a veteran or current active military, you are welcome to include that on your resume as well. It could either be embedded in your employment history or it could be identified as its own section. If you do put it as its own section, I recommend putting it below your education and above your experience or directly at the bottom. This is an optional step for those of you that identify as active military or veterans. You do not need to share this with the employer if you're uncomfortable, but if it does cover a large portion of your work history, this is a great thing to include. We typically only recommend to include military experience for those who are currently active, medically discharged, or have honorable discharge status. If you identify as any of these, be prepared to provide your DD-214 to the employer to show them proof of your military service. If you're interested in learning more about translating military experience to civilian language, come down to Career and Employment Services and we would be happy to help you with that. You can also include your awards or accomplishments. This can include workplace awards such as attendance awards, high performance awards, scholarships, or customer recognition awards. They could be college-related awards such as Phi Theta Kappa, other honor societies or clubs that you've been a part of. And the main thing to remember is that you want to omit awards from high school unless they are scholarship or industry related. If you earned a welding award from a high school welding class and you're in training to become a welder, that's absolutely appropriate to include. But as we discussed in the education section, any information you include from your high school education could potentially give away demographic information about you that the employer does not need.